This is the Chronicles of an American Boudica, Friends, Family and Funerals. Chapter 1. The Beginning of the End. She opened the heavy wooden church doors. It was crowded. All heads turned. The woman who knew all there was to know about her was gone. How did this happen? The breath caught in her chest. She stopped to look at the small piece of porcelain that held her friend and mentor. It was as beautiful as the woman encased in it. The numbness sheathed her as Amazing Grace played on the bagpipes. It made a haunting resonance. The words from the service ran as one. In her mind, only the sound of the music entered like a long-lost, solitary companion. Merle and the priest gave her instructions on what was to be done. Her life would not stop until the task was complete. I was reporting on the funeral when I saw this amazing woman for the first time. She made her entrance from the back of the church. Everyone stopped to look when she walked to the urn. You could have heard a feather fall. After the service she spoke only to the priest and the husband, and then she solemnly took the urn. As she passed I could smell fresh gardenias. Afterwards I struck up a conversation with one of the congregation. That woman who walked in, I said. Who was she? A politician? A rock star maybe even? That is Boudica, was all she said. Being a young and slightly naive reporter from England, I wondered what the dickens was an American woman doing with a name like that. I tried to hide my fascination. I'd been gathering information on Anne Carr's, the lady whose funeral I'd just attended. But I think I'd stumbled on something bigger, something much bigger, the story of an underground queen. I was about to embark on the story of the American Boudica. After making more inquiries, I found out Boudica was to scatter Anne Carr's ashes and put her finally to rest. She was on a train bound for New York, then to a boat. I wanted to nose around Virginia Beach some more. I could always catch a plane tomorrow. I had an interview with Anne Carr's son. I was running late as I entered the 17th Street surf shop where we were about to meet. Dusty looked up from a rack of board shorts. "Do you surf?" he said. "Never tried it, but it looks fun," I said. I tried to answer with a smile. "I'm off to Croatan Beach. We can talk about my mum on the way," said Dusty. We went down Shore Drive. The Beach Boys were playing on the radio, and I got all the info I needed to file the story of Anne Carr's. But tentatively, I brought up the subject of Boudica. "What was your relationship to Boudica?" I asked. Dusty went silent for a moment. "She's my foster sister." It seemed a difficult subject for him, so I left it for the time being. "Look, I'm sorry to pry, it's just the reporter in me. It's been a long day. Let's surf." Later, at the hotel, I was sitting in the lobby waiting for Anne Carr's daughter, Tanya, my next interview. Up until now, all I'd discovered was that Anne was a genteel English-American woman. As I talked to Tanya, I noticed a little bitterness in her voice. She was proud of her mother, but seemed almost jealous to have to share her with the other foster kids. I asked about the others. She told me they'd all been successful doctors, lawyers, nurses, dancers, gamblers even. In fact, all went to the top of their respective professions. "And Boudica?" I asked. "This interview is over," is all Tanya said. She walked out on me there and then in a real huff. I went to dinner at the Duck Inn. I sat at the bar. The glass and brass sparkled. It was was definitely my sort of place. As I muddled through a few papers, I felt perplexed at the lack of information on this Boudica. One thing was for sure, my thirst for knowledge on this lady was growing. "You look puzzled," said the barkeep. "I'm looking for information on a particular person. Trouble is, I keep drawing a blank." "Who do you want to know about?" She carried on slicing through a lemon with a very sharp knife. "The only thing I know is her name, Boudica." "The woman's a myth," she said with a wry smile. She placed the hush puppy basket in front of me. I popped the tasty treat in my mouth and enjoyed the buttery flavour. "It's said she protects children and women," said the barkeep, wiping the knife carefully on a white bar towel. I explained that I met her earlier in the day. The barkeep looked intrigued. "If there really is such a person, you could try the Princess Anne courthouse." "What do you mean she's a myth?" I asked. At that point, the swinging doors opened and the manager walked in. The barkeep tried to look busy. She put the cut lemons in a glass and began cleaning some more glasses. The manager must have heard me talking. "So you're from old England. How do you like America?" "Enjoyable," I said. The bartender brought over my dinner. The smell of fresh broiled flounder made my taste buds water. The chef had done well. "Will you be going home soon then?" said the manager. Americans are never too subtle. More later.
Just about got, I think, before the ball into shot. Right, just have a look and see what you think now.